I'm up here at 8 Mile Creek, 8 Mile Canyon. It's a beautiful area, but it's a designated motorcycle area, and there's a whole lot of motorcycles and ATVs out here. I can see why they want to ride in this area, but I was hoping it to be quiet so I could video up here. I'll at least show you the canyon anyway. There's a great camping spot back over there. Someday maybe I'll come up here and go camping or something, but in the meantime, there's a motorcycler. So I'm going to go back down the canyon. It's really quite beautiful. Beautiful up here. I'd like to hike up that trail someday. Right there. And get up there in those rocks, but that'd be one heck of a doing. I'm not going to do it today. Maybe another time, but a lot of bees out here. That's a good thing to see. Anyway, I'm going to go back down the canyon so I can do some more videoing in quiet. It's really noisy up here. This is 8 Mile Canyon in the middle of the Lemhi mountain range. I think it's like September 5th, 2008. Okay, I'm going to go back down the trail. This is a really beautiful canyon area. I'm in the Lemhi Mountains. Up in 8 Mile Canyon. I had to come down because of the motorcyclists. But you can see it's pretty majestic up there. Pretty impressive. I'll see if I can get a good shot of me standing with that as the background. Let's see if I can do this. I want to talk to you about Jack Welch's book. Oh, it's dark too. You can't see me, can you? Now that might be a good thing. Let me see if I can find some sunlight. Boy, this is a fabulous setting for video. Oh, there's an enormous amount of bees out here. You can see this fabulous setting of the rocks of the mountains up here. Jack Welch's new book, The Legal Cases in the Book of Mormon. It's September 5th, 2008. This book just came out last week. 30 years in the making. 500-pager. It's a huge walloping book. The thing I love about Jack Welch, his friends call him Jack, it's John W. Welch. He's always been a careful, meticulous scholar. I love his research. I've read as much as I can of his materials. Dozens and dozens of scholarly articles, and many books considered classics on the Book of Mormon. Sermon on the Mount, the temple text of his is really excellent. His putting together of the King Benjamin speech materials, 700-pager on that, just analyzing that one aspect of the Book of Mormon. And now this. Now Jack is a lawyer, and his father grew up being a lawyer, and he wanted him to be a lawyer also. Let me move that brush, weeds. The thing I love about this text is there are many legal cases in the Book of Mormon. Now, what's so remarkable about this is that these legal cases, their methodology, their ideologies, their assumptions, the way they carry out the legal aspects of the disputes is based upon ancient Near Eastern law. Now, it's only within the last 50 years or so that critical biblical scholarship has analyzed the ancient Near Eastern law and found that the way the ancient Near Eastern law worked, you can't find it just, whoa, there's a million bees. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get stung if I'm not careful. The ancient Near Eastern law is based upon the Hittite laws, the Mesopotamian texts, the Babylonian texts. There's an enormous amount of variety of information. That the Bible is not a complete text with discussing the legal ramifications and aspects of the law. But it is one such text. What Jack Welch did is, in the course of investigating the ancient law of the ancient Near East, he used the methods of the biblical scholars who were dealing with the critical law, and he used their methodologies and applied it to the Book of Mormon. And I thought that was remarkably interesting. The insights he gets is incredible. There's about 1 million bees around here. I'm going to get out of here. I'll go someplace else. I'll find a way to do this video, come heck or high water. Now, what I was saying, this is the valley. This is the valley that I just came up out of, the canyon, 8 Mile Canyon. There's a lot of people up here, and they're enjoying their Saturday and all that. It's awesome. Too loud up there, though, too noisy. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to explore more of Jack Welch's materials with you. This legal case is in the Book of Mormon. Sensational text. What John has done. John W. Welch is his name. His friends call him Jack. Through the years, he has been in cahoots with the biblical scholars. And what they've been doing is they've been establishing over the course of the last 50 years that biblical law is best understood because the Bible is an incomplete text. Biblical law is best understood in conjunction with the Hittite laws, the Code of Hammurabi, the Mesopotamian materials, the Babylonian materials, the Syrian materials, the Arabian materials, the Egyptian materials. The whole context of the ancient Near East has to be put together in order to appreciate the ancient Near Eastern laws. And this is what the biblical scholars have been doing for the last 50 years. Well, John Welch has been teaching law courses at the J. Reuben Clark Law School for the last 30 years. He has had, through the years, hundreds, if not thousands, of students working on assignments of legal importance within the Book of Mormon text itself. I'm just making sure this is recording. The various cases that John goes over is extremely interesting to look at. The case of Sherem, the trial of Abinadi, the trial of Nahor, the trial of Alma and Amulek, the trial of Korihor. He compares Sherem, Nahor, and Korihor. He has the case of Paanki, the trial of Seantum, and judicial punishments, types, and rationales. Through the centuries in the Book of Mormon, as well as in the Bible, various different unique law cases occurred. How does the Book of Mormon fit within the ancient Near Eastern context? It fits beautifully. The ideology, the methodology, the way in which a complaint was carried forward and done, the issues involved in the various arguments back and forth, all of this is very powerfully depicted in the Book of Mormon. I hope that's blocking the wind. It's getting kind of breezy here. About blew my hat off. The impressive thing is, through the decades, this book took 30 years to write. He's been amassing and compiling information. He's been associated with various legal associations, Jewish and Christian alike. He's been in cooperation with Jewish and Christian scholars on the Torah, the law, and the Old Testament, and the New Testament. He's been invited to various symposiums to speak on the trial of Jesus and on various aspects of legalities within the Book of Mormon. Now, I want to read his intellectual autobiography, is what I'll call it. It's his preface. It's his foreword. But he's discussing his life dealing with law. Legality in the ancient scriptures, Bible and the Book of Mormon. And his associations, his working with scholars, critical biblical scholars, Jewish and Christian alike. His intellectual biography destroys this sour grapes attitude of critics against LDS scholars. They say, well, no Mormon wants to have his materials on the Book of Mormon peer-reviewed because, of course, biblical scholarship doesn't take it seriously, and they would trash the LDS scholarship anyway. John W. Welch's book, The Legal Cases in the Book of Mormon, destroys that sourpuss, worthless argument. He's been working with Bible scholars for decades. He discusses this, and I want to share it with you also. It's very impressive to see how many hundreds of different papers of students have been published. Their bibliography put on CD-ROM, 5,500 works on ancient law and the scriptures. That is so impressive to the biblical scholars now. There's an enormous amount of material that John Welch is bringing out through his cooperation with critical biblical scholarship, Jewish and Christian, that it is moving the entire process forward. It's only within the last 50 years that the scholars have amassed enough materials to show that some of these tales in the Bible